Once the pool was installed, 48 hours later, we were swimming. The water was cold, but we were swimming.
Hi everyone, if you've been following this YouTube channel for a while, you know that I love shipping containers. I built my house with shipping containers. Actually, the advantage of containers is that you're reusing something secondhand, so it's more eco-friendly, it's more economical. It allows you to build a lot of things very quickly, whether it's houses, garden sheds, but also many other things like, for example, what's right behind me. I've wanted to show you other types of constructions using shipping containers for a long time. And now I've found swimming pools made from shipping containers. I thought that was really interesting. We're in the area around Valence, and it's the company La Boîte à Nager that's been building this swimming pool from a shipping container for several years now. There have been hundreds of customers who have had this new type of pool. And today, well, I'm with Antoine. Hello, the president and CEO of La Boîte à Nager. Can you explain to us why your customers chose a swimming pool made from a shipping container?
My clients here originally had a wooden pool that was completely worn out. So they consulted us because they were looking for a solution. Since access here is limited, we have a beautiful view of Saint-Péray and there weren't many options. So La Boîte à Nager became an option. We found the solution of bringing in a crane that went over the house, 30 meters from where we are, set down the pool, and the next day it was done. So it was the access that was important for them and the speed. So within 24 hours it was done.
Why do we reuse containers to make swimming pools?
We use containers now to give them a second life. So our containers are really new. Generally, they've only made one trip. They arrive in Europe. And since unfortunately we don't send them back to China where they're made, well, we have to find a way to use them for something else. So we had the idea to turn them into swimming pools. This container here is a high cube container that's 6 meters long. So the idea is to cut it in half, like you can see here. You're going to use the top and the bottom, so from one container, you'll make 2 swimming pools for us. So, on a standard container like this one, which measures 2.6 meters, we'll have an inside height of about 1.2 meters. If you want it higher, we'll take a high cube container where you'll have an inside height of 1.35 meters. And then, if you ever want it higher, no problem, Antoine, I want a pool with an inside height of 1.6 meters. I'll cut it to 1.6 meters and use the other piece to make a fish pond.
That's it. That's it. Tracks.
And so once we've cut it, what happens next?
Well, once we've cut it, it's kind of like shun gun, you know? Yeah, it's really, really graceful.
Thanks to its structural rigidity?
Exactly, absolutely. So we have to reinforce it. Okay, so the first thing to do is to reinforce it by making a steel belt. Okay, so here we used a large 120 profile to gain height. And then you have to cover it because the water pressure is so intense that, for example, you see the doors, we added reinforcements.
And then I see inside you use pretty much the same metal profiles to make the stairs and all the interior fittings?
Exactly. The client tells us, well, I want a small bench to sit in my pool, I want a staircase, I want a C-shaped bench, an L-shaped bench. He gives us a little sketch, we make a drawing for him. If it's good, we send it to Brian, who takes care of the rest. When it comes to layout, we can do exactly what he wants.
You can also use 6 or 12 meter containers, so you can make pools of any size.
Exactly, we could even make slightly smaller pools like the one we'll see later. We can cut 12-meter containers to make smaller pools.
Why not use retired shipping containers that have spent 15 years at sea and are secondhand, like the ones I used for my house? They'd be even more economical and eco-friendly.
Yeah, well, we tried at first, yeah. But actually, second-hand containers like yours, as you must have seen, they're dented all over the place. Yeah. So on a container that's all dented, we can't put our coating on it. Okay. So we decided to work with containers made for travel, mainly for longevity, because as you know, when they're made, they're guaranteed for 50 years. Yeah. So I know that when I deliver a pool, I can relax for quite a while because in the garden, theoretically, it should be better than at sea. And precisely for the aesthetics, to avoid it being wavy, when we put on the waterproof lining called reinforced PVC, we're going to add marine plywood to smooth out the waves. So it has 2 advantages. First, it's smooth, and second, it provides a bit of insulation.
Okay, so maybe it helps keep the surface warm and all that?
It's a little better, not amazing, but improved. on this wood, so we put the waterproofing. This is an example of reinforced PVC. There's also a textured one, which we often put on the floor to avoid slipping. And on the walls, we can put a smooth one, for example. Music. We fix this rail here with pop rivets, kind of like with a concrete pool. We pop it into the profile, and then the PVC comes in. You have to do a bit of work, and it will snap into place. Okay. These are the same rails as for liners, which snap in place. However, liners now last 7 to 10 years, while this has a lifespan of 25 to 30 years. Okay, so there's no comparison. Okay, what we're trying to do, so you were asking me, is it expensive? The container is expensive. Yes, I have clients who tell me it's expensive. Yes, it's expensive. But to build a pool with my crew, there are 3 of us in total. It takes us 3 weeks with 3 people to do it. 3 weeks of work. We take our time, we use high-end materials, and all of that makes the price go up. And actually today, you shouldn't compare prices. That's it. If you get a shell pool, a shell costs about the same as a container. Except in 10 or 15 years, your shell will be done, while ours will still be good in 30 years.
So it's not cheaper to buy, but actually it lasts longer. So over its lifetime, it's actually cheaper in the end.
Exactly. If you think in terms of more than 20 years, it's cheaper. If you think in terms of 10 years, it's about the same. But yeah, in my opinion, nowadays you have to think long term. You shouldn't just think short term.
People often assume container pools are less durable than concrete or shell pools, but more affordable. In reality, it's the opposite. It costs the same, but it lasts longer. Actually, a container pool is high-end, it's not low-end.
You're right.
No matter what you're trying to do, you can't deny the truth.
When it comes to filtration systems, does it work like a regular pool? Or since it's smaller, do you need less powerful systems? Or how does it work?
It's exactly the same as a regular pool. The only difference is that you have to adjust your filter media and your pump according to the size of your pool.
Can't get around it if you try. If you love it, then you magnify. No matter what you're trying to do, you can't.
As you mentioned, the main benefit of building with shipping containers is handling everything in the warehouse and easily delivering to the customer.
Yeah, that's exactly it, and that's the big advantage. We don't have time or weather constraints. Everything is done in the workshop. When the pool is ready, we roll it out since the containers have wheels like a large shopping cart. We move it to the terrace, a crane truck loads it and delivers it to the customer. The time it takes to set it up and lower it into the excavation, let's say an hour and a half, in an hour and a half, it's done. It's made to be transported.
A container?
So there you go. The container is made to be mobile. And it's funny, but it's good that you brought it up. I have a client who sold his house and he took the container with him. Okay. Yeah, so really you can do whatever you want. Under...
Don't wanna miss my chance. Would you mind if I took your hand? Out on the floor, baby, let's dance. Extended cut.
And so, starting from 16,000 euros, as you can see below, there are several types of pools.
Exactly.
Are we generally around 16,000 euros? Or actually, as soon as we start adding machinery and other things, does the price go up quickly? What's the price? Yes.
You have a way?
Let's say.
The average price is around 20,000. At 16,000, yes, you get a pool that's 6 meters, but you'll have to install it with equipment that's provided but not installed, so you have to add the installation cost. The average price is about 20,000. This year, we launched the Brisbane pool, under 10 square meters, not yet on the website, starting at 14,000. So, you save some money.
And compared to, you were saying, a traditional concrete or shell pool, is this a price that's much lower than what it would usually be? Or is it about the same price? Well, for a 6-meter pool...
We're about the same price as a shell pool. For a concrete pool, generally, we're a little bit cheaper, about 15 to 20% less. For us, our strength is not just price, but also speed.
And you've already sold a lot of pools. You have some experience, let's say, with this new type of container pool. Yes!
Well, we've made about 100 pools. So now, we're pretty experienced with container pools and we have some great years ahead of us. Okay?
Great. And so here we have an above-ground pool that's set on a concrete slab, but for the projects you usually do, is it more often above ground or mostly in-ground most of the time?
Well, it's good that you asked me that. Generally, it's about 70% in ground and 30% other types of projects. So it can be either above ground or semi-in ground.
And for in-ground pools, won't the soil compress the container too much? Won't there be structural problems over time? So
You don't actually use soil. You use gravel and crushed stone so that it's well drained.
okay, completely underneath and around the container.
Exactly, and then it won't move anymore.
And there's no problem with the container rusting over time or with any, well,
To reassure you about that, we put a Delta MS to protect against moisture. It's a bit like what you do for the foundations of a house. We try to do things as well as possible.
okay. And what often surprises people who discover, let's say, this kind of pool or who are installing a pool for the first time? Well, it's the size.
People expect it to be small when they put down 4 blocks, but when they get it, they're surprised by how big it actually is.
Yeah, at first they say to themselves, well, it's going to be a small pool, okay? It's not what I imagined. And actually, well, it's true. You can see it behind us. It looks much bigger than we would have thought when we were in the workshop. In the end, it's actually a pretty decent pool.
It's enough. For a family of 5 or 6, it's enough. Of course, we're not going to fit 20 people in there.
Yeah, and you're not here to swim competitively. It's there to be a pool, to relax, to unwind. You're not going to swim miles in there.
Indeed, contrary to its name, La Boîte à Nager is more like a soaking box.
Maybe that'll help change the name, though.
We'll see later.
If you had to be honest about the limitations of shipping container pools, what would you say is the biggest drawback of this choice compared to other types of pools? It's the width.
For the width, we're limited by the container, which measures 2.45 meters on the outside and 2.35 meters on the inside. For me, that's its only flaw.
What we wanted was a project that would last over time, something durable that wouldn't get damaged, and also something easy to install that wouldn't take too much time and could be put into service quickly. Once the pool was set up, 48 hours later, we were swimming. The water was cold, but we were swimming. For people like us who don't like construction work, honestly,
It wasn't going to be weeks of work here with the
workers coming in and putting things up,
overflowing. Here, it's clean.
and then access just wasn't possible for us. Well, if we had done it in concrete, because we wanted the same system, but a concrete system, so ecologically it's not great and it just didn't work for us. And then in terms of the infrastructure to set it up, it would have been very complicated and it would have taken time, and in my opinion, it would have been a project that would have been hard to accomplish. Yeah, we're really very happy to have found La Boîte à Nager. Plus the service was great, and honestly, Antoine came back several times to check if everything was okay. Really, it was just wonderful. And every time we have people come over to the house, every time it really catches their attention. And there are other people around us who might be interested too, and they say, well, if we can, we'll do it, because honestly, it's really great. And on top of the quality, if there's also great service,
To finish, if you had to convince the people watching this video to choose a shipping container pool instead of another type of pool, what would you tell them? Well then,
There's something for everyone. The main advantage is really the ecological aspect and speed. They're swimming within 24 hours. That's what's really important.
identify main points, remove repetitive details, keep speaker's perspective, shorten sentences, retain names, places, and events. They don't deal with long construction or worker delays. Here, everything's factory made. If you say May 28th, the pool arrives and they're swimming that day.
That's exactly it.
Yes. Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Julian.
At the end of this visit. And then if you're interested, I put the link to La Boîte à Nager in the video description. This wasn't sponsored by La Boîte à Nager. We really came on our own because we find the project quite interesting. You know, if you follow this channel, I really like everything that's done with shipping containers. So tell me what you think in the comments of this video, and then we can all discuss it together. And subscribe so you don't miss the next videos about shipping containers or lots of other things. I'll see you next time. All right, bye. Ciao.